New fallout from the teacher-student sex scandal in Peoria, where two teachers are accused of having sex with the same student.
Centennial High School's principal faced criticism from district officials about how this investigation was handled, and today he announced he is resigning. Zach Prelutsky live in the newsroom with more on that resignation. Zach?
Well, Jared and Vanessa, these allegations have really shaken this district and the families in it. Scott Hollabaugh specifically referenced this scandal as a main reason why he's stepping down. And Arizona's family obtained the letter he wrote announcing his resignation on the final day of school. Critics questioned whether Hollabaugh met his mandatory reporting requirements after two former teachers, Angela Berlacca and Haley Beck, were accused of sexually assaulting the same student at Centennial High School. According to a police report, Hollabaugh and the victim's mother both knew about the allegations before someone else tipped off police. Peoria Unified Governing Board member Heather Rooks was ousted as board president just 2.5 weeks ago after publicly calling for an independent investigation. She addressed mandatory reporting at a press conference earlier this week.
I believe the public has a right to ask. If there were no concerns before that day, what made the principal ask whether there was a second teacher involved? Those are accountability questions, and they deserve an independent review.
In this letter to the community, Hollabaugh says he will support the district's efforts for a smooth transition for the school over these next few weeks. Now, the district, they placed both of those teachers on administrative leave, then later fired one, the other resigned. Coming up tonight at 10, where the criminal cases against these two now former teachers stands. For now, reporting in the newsroom, Zach Prelutsky for Arizona's Family.